Do you want your iPhone battery to last a very long time? For example, Angelica's iPhone is still at 100% capacity after 8 months, and mine is at 99%, while some people in less than a year have their battery all the way down to 85%, while others, a year after getting it, they're still at 100. Well, there are some tips to help you do that, either if you want your phone to last a long time, or if you want to resell it for the maximum value later, or even pass it down to a family member or friend. Well, I'm gonna share some simple tips, some more advanced tips, and some extreme battery saving tips that you've probably never heard about. The first tip is to make sure that optimized battery charging is enabled in your battery settings on your iPhone. This will make it so the phone will charge up to 80% and stop until shortly before you actually need it, and that helps the longevity. The second tip is to make sure you don't leave your phone out in direct sun or in heat, for example, on your dashboard in your car, or even on a car MagSafe mount or vent mount where you can have hot air blowing on the phone, heating it up, because heat is one thing that kills the battery. And if that sounds weird, check this out. Apple themselves say that the ideal temperature is between 62 to 72, and that it is very important to avoid exposing your device to higher than 95 degrees Celsius or direct sunlight, which can permanently damage your battery capacity. And if you've ever had your iPhone lock up saying that it is too hot and it needs to cool down, well, that is very bad. With that, if you use wireless charging, use Apple's MagSafe charger, because it monitors temperature and it will actually slow down or even stop charging if your phone gets too hot. And if you use wireless power banks, use Apple's own MagSafe power bank, because it can also stop charging when it gets too hot or when you're using apps that heat up to save your battery, whereas third-party ones will keep charging your phone and make it super hot. And the last tip in the simple category, avoid letting your battery die all the way. If it's getting low, plug it in before it is dead, because that's one of the worst things that you could do for a battery. Now, for those of you guys that want to get even more serious, in our advanced category, the first thing you could do is switch from using a fast charger all the time to using a slow 5-watt charger overnight, which has an even charging rate and that heats up your battery way less, whereas with the fast chargers, you will notice that your phone will get hot. And that is because the fast chargers will pump a lot of wattage and heat into your battery at first, and then they will slow down, but overnight, you don't really need that. Now, when you are fast charging, take off your case, especially if it is thick. Now, if that sounds crazy, Apple themselves say to remove certain cases during charging because it keeps in heat, damaging your battery. With that, avoid having your battery be below 20% or stay at 100% for a long time, like keeping it plugged in all the time or charging when it doesn't need to. Now, if this sounds crazy, most electric cars will actually suggest not letting it go below 20% and not charging above 80% unless you're going on a trip. If you're gonna use wireless charging, use something that has some heat dissipation. For example, this stand here has extra aluminum that draws out heat. Or with that, you can use slower wireless charging that maxes out at 5 watts or 7.5, or even use wireless chargers that have cooling built in, like this one from ESR. Any product I suggest will be down in the description. With that, if you're gaming or using other applications that heat your phone up, don't have your phone plugged in at the same time, because you're just stacking up a bunch of heat. And then if you're gonna store your iPhone, have it around 50%, because that is when batteries are most stable. Now for the extreme tips for those that want your phone to last practically forever. And I'm not somebody that does it, but there are people that do. The first tip is to avoid wireless chargers altogether, because they make a lot of heat when they're charging up your phone, and that is not necessary. Now, the second tip is if you're in an environment where it is hot, turn off your auto brightness, because with these newer phones that their screens get very bright, that just stacks up the amount of heat and it does impact battery longevity. And the same thing with 5G. If you're in a hot environment, you're using GPS, if you can shut that off, that's gonna keep your phone running cooler. And then if you are gaming, turn off auto brightness and set it to about 50% because gaming, once again, causes your phone to really heat up. Next, keep your phone between that 20% to 80%. Don't let it die and don't charge it to full. Now, unlike some Android phones that have built-in charging limitations, your iPhone does not have that. So there are a couple ways. First, don't just charge overnight where your phone will hit 100%. Charge it during the day and the evening when you can kind of monitor it and keep it in that range. That makes a massive impact for the long term. And for some people that get really extreme, they will actually stop their phone from charging over 80%, just like you can on a Tesla. Now, to do that on an iPhone, there are a couple of ways. First off, you can buy a HomeKit compatible wall outlet plug and then create a home automation with it so that when your phone reaches 80%, that outlet shuts off and you won't overcharge your phone. And the second way is to download this app called Chargy, which can actually pair up with an inexpensive little charging adapter. And then you can easily control what your charger levels and speeds are at, along with control based off of temperature. And using these tips, from the simple ones to the advanced or the absolutely extreme, you can have your iPhone be at 100% for a long time, up to a year or more, and have an iPhone that will last for 5 years with a battery that is still really good. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. None of these products are sponsored, but they are linked down in the description. Click that circle above, check out one of those videos right over there. This has been Max, and I will see you in the next one.